we're expanding school choice. Is it choice, or is it really just theater? Is it just coercion? Real choice requires this level playing field, and that really means four things. I've come up with four things so far that I think that this fairness, this level playing field should equate to. We should have equal rules. We should have equal rules. If one set of schools can have selective barriers, explicit or subconscious or subtle, whatever it is, while another must serve everyone who arrives, that's not choice, it's sorting. Right? It's sorting. And public schools have to take everyone by law. Just remember that. Nobody else does. So if they say you take everyone. No, they don't. Okay, so we don't have equal rules there. Do we have equal access? If a family needs time, transportation, stable work hours, reliable internet, and insider knowledge to navigate the options, do they have the ability to really rank and file and review and edit and look at every school choice equally without propaganda, without marketing materials? Then the policy does not expand opportunity, it filters it. Right? So if the private schools that are getting voucher and the charter schools and the home schools that are taking state money, taxpayer money, if they get to market and present their best foot forward and public schools can't, you don't know what makes public schools awesome. And if you dare thought there's nothing that makes them awesome, how dare you? How dare you? Okay, because that's the kind of hogwash that we're up against right now. This we've been manipulated. We've had propaganda poured upon us that public education doesn't work. Yes, it does. It has made us the greatest, strongest country on the planet. And I'd like to keep that position. I have a kid. I'd like grandkids one day. I'd like this experiment to keep going. But yeah, it needs work for sure. But if one team gets to compete and the other doesn't, that's not equal access. Okay, what about equal accountability? What about number 3, equal accountability? If one system is subject to transparent standards, public oversight, and obligations to serve all students, while others operate with lighter scrutiny, fewer responsibilities, fewer transparencies, no FOIA requests, no sunshine laws, no elected officials, ability to shut and close down schools at their whims, whatever, then somebody carries the weight for this. And it's public schools, while others really enjoy the upside. All right, let's talk about number 4, equal honesty about outcomes. Aha, some of you thought I was going to avoid the hard data points. Well, what are the standardized test scores? What are their grading according to whatever governmental body is grading the school system? If you want to make sure that outcomes are as equal as possible, I don't know how you make sure that outcomes are equal. I got to rethink this one. Outcomes, you can't make sure, you have to make sure the ability to provide the education is equal. Outcomes are dependent on workload and a million other facets. I mean, we can't demand equal outcomes. But can we give everyone the chance at an equal outcome? Maybe. I'm going to keep thinking about this. I don't know. I'm down for having a debate about this one. But if the evidence is mixed, if results vary wildly, and if the benefits really depend heavily on who can access which option, then we're not even providing the same access. Let me make this a little bit more concrete. Is if we're going to require everyone to have the same standardized test, require everyone to do that, but we don't. We just judge public schools by standardized testing. I don't know if standardized testing should really be the hallmark of a great education system. I really actually don't think it should be. I think it should be one of many key performance indicators. I think a better key performance indicator would be ability to problem solve and critical thinking. However, you choose to judge that. But if some schools can provide more and market more and get rid of the kids, or just not allow the kids to come in that have problems. Speech impediments or slight learning disabilities, some social issues, some economic issues, maybe a disability. Well, then heck, man, those kids are going to have, less and less ability to receive really outstanding education opportunities. And if the outcome is education opportunities, I think that this makes a lot of sense. I'm going to leave myself a little note here because I kind of want to dig into this a little bit more. But once again, I told you this is going to be behind the scenes, right? Okay, there we go. Okay, so if these conditions are met, the policy does not protect all education vehicles. It really won't empower families. And that's what's happening. It won't empower families. It just coerces them, and it pressures these families with a manufactured narrative. And this manufactured narrative is what we're all just pounded on, which are public schools are hopeless. And there's a rescue, and it's just all these other things. And once that story becomes the dominant framework, which I'm a little scared that it has already become, this system starts behaving like a marketplace designed to reward advantage rather than a public promise designed to educate every child. And that's the thing that we should really be the most concerned with, all right? And this is where the conversation around school coercion, school choice, needs to get more honest. And this is the thing that kind of woke me up last night, is that the real issue is not whether a handful of families benefit from a particular option. Some will, some won't. The issue is what happens at scale. What happens across communities over decades. And look, oh, man, this is so frustrating. It's like trying to get somebody in their 20s to save money so when they're 50, 60, 70, they have like money saved up, they can retire. They're like, I need it now. I want it now, you know? And this is not just this generation. This is every generation has been very difficult to teach them to worry about when they're 50 and 60. Most people do not think long-term. They want short-term rewards, short-term impact, short-term feelings. And this is the thing that we're up against. Some of the societies that we're dealing with out there, other cultures, think in terms of not just, decades, but centuries. Okay, they think in terms of centuries, but America is it's a newer country on the face of the planet, obviously, right? And so, in perspective, we don't have 1,000, 2,000 years of history here. We have hundreds. And so that's kind of where we face, but we've got to turn our mind's eye to thinking about the long-term effects of leaving out millions and millions of children. Okay, we've got to think about the long-term effects of that. So we cannot keep pretending that these outcomes are accidental, right? When we turn the public education system into this destabilized marketplace, but we're still expecting public schools to act as a universal safety net. The community hub is gone, and the last line of support for children with the greatest needs dissipates. And wake up and realize that you're either supporting them now as children, getting them as many resources as possible. People are born differently. I know it's tough to say, but we've got to give them the best leg forward so they can all have a chance, right? Okay, so we can't keep pretending that if we keep tearing down public education, these outcomes are going to be affected in a positive manner. A choice system that is not fair will do what unfair systems always do. All right, and I'm probably not going to get too much of a history lesson here, but it will concentrate advantages, and it will fragment communities, and will continue to widen achievement gaps. And while adults are out here arguing about the politics, our children are going to live with the consequences. So, I don't know why this is a Republican or Democrat or a Libertarian or whatever issue. If we miss interventions and we keep churning, from model to model, the uneven quality is going to be sorted by income, transportation, and family capacity. So what do we need to do in first? All right, so what should we do? Because I like to have some action items for us, for Pete's sakes, all right? Is first, we've got to stop the doublespeak. We have to stop selling coercion. We have to stop selling coercion as a choice. It is not a choice right now. It's just not. So, no, don't. I think I'm going to get rid of let's talk about school choice. I don't know what that is. We don't have school choice. We have school theater, we have school manipulation, we have school coercion, but we don't have school choice. I think we gotta stop letting the people that are trying to actively destroy public schools control the narrative, because right now they are. Second, if leaders want a choice-based system, then let's make it actual real. Like, let's make it a real choice. Let's have equal rules, equal accountability, equal transparency, and real access. And if that makes some options less attractive to operators, that means to people making money, because, by the way, all these other things outside of public school, people are making money. Yes, even charter schools. The people that build charter schools, they can claim whatever they want to. I'm telling you, it's in many, many cases, charter school operators with very few students are making more than your local superintendent. Look it up. Check the math. It's true. All right. So don't tell me it's not about the money in these cases. So if it makes certain choices less attractive, that tells you what was driving the policy in the first place, doesn't it? So if it makes options bad because it's all fair, well, those choices were being built up upon the backs of lies and or manipulation. So let's just own that, right? So no more BS here, guys. All right. Third, and I kind of just touched on this, but we got to stop using the word choice as a substitute for the work of repairing public education. Maybe school repair. Yeah, repair isn't a slogan, right? See, it's hard. It's unglamorous. It's measurable. You know, I remember when the Achievement School District came to Tennessee. This was, 12, 15 years ago. And they had such an absolute garbage slogan. Just a total BS tagline. And I can't believe that anybody fell for it. I've fallen for a lot of things too. I guess, if I had blinders on, but in this case, what they said was, the Achievement School District here in Tennessee, which is gone, by the way, bye-bye, because it didn't work, was they said, we're going to take the bottom 5% and make them the top 15%, or the bottom 15% and make them the top 5%. Either way, it was something about they were going to take the very bottom schools and make them the very best. And I'm like, how are you going to account for poverty? How are you going to account for the fact that some children don't have access to electricity or food when they get home? This isn't America, for Pete's sakes. What? Like, you're not taking into account the entire full picture of what's going on. It's just a marketing slogan. It's just a tagline, and it drives me nuts. All right, so we've got to stop saying that we got to stop using the word choice as a substitute for repairing the problem. And I get it's hard. It's unglamorous. Oh, man. I just haven't been able to figure out a way. Maybe let's do it together. I mean, I don't have the answers for all this stuff. This is crazy. Why would I? This is complicated. It's a complicated problem. We need to modernize operations and respond to real accountability. And it's funding that reflects students' needs. It's transparency, it's leadership, it's execution is what we need. And it's not glamorous and it's not sexy. And I think anytime we see anything that remotely revolves around something exciting around school reform, maybe we should be a little bit more cautious and go, I don't want it if it's exciting. I don't want it if it sounds really hot and today and modern and whatever all the kids are saying. Forget all that, man. The hard work of educating is the hard work of educating. And that's what public schools have been doing for, a long time, a couple hundred years here. It wasn't always like that in the world. So we should be demanding a system that is built to benefit all children. It's not a spectacle that helps adults feel like something is being done. Feels. I get it. School choice feels like something is being done. And it is. Yeah, it is. Something is being done, but it's not what people intend. It's the destruction. Okay? So let's just get real about that. And because the stakes are not abstract, I get that they're distant. I get that they're down the road. But they're not abstract. They're real. If we keep confusing movements with progress, if we keep choosing theater over repair, we're going to harm millions of children, and we're going to continue to weaken this nation for generations to come. And it's called school choice if you want. Call it school choice if you want to. But if the rules aren't equal, is it really school choice, or is it just school coercion, school theater? All right. Well, that's where my head is. And this is where I'm going. I hope you join me. I hope that we begin to actually redefine and get control of the narrative. I hate that we're going to have to use narrative and themes and campaigny slogans to win, but that's what we're up against. And we're on the right side of this. But we got to bring the whole country along with us. All right. Thanks.